So when the T-Roc first came out, I did a video on it. I was so chuffed. It was such a good video. Well, and then I lost the footage. I think I replaced the file like an idiot. But you know, whatever. But so I was very excited that there's been an update, so I get to film it again, even if it's taken whatever, a year or 2 years, whatever it has been, I can't remember now. But anyways, I'm in the top of the range R-Line T-Roc, which, you know, is all kinds of sort of fancy. And you know, it's weird. I just recently recommended it to a friend who's about to have a baby. So she currently drives an Audi A1 and quite liked the T-Roc. She doesn't want an SUV. She's not a big car. She wants something quite small. So I thought, okay, well, you know, not too bad. Okay, now having driven it for a week, it's not great as a family car, not particularly practical. And it's not supposed to be. It's more for like the image peeps, okay? If you want, I suppose, the family side of things, you go for the Tiguan or even the Tigo. It's not tiny, but the rear legroom is non-existent. If you've got a car seat in, this seat has to be right up to the front here. So the front passenger is like legroom. And if you push it back, poor Luca's got like his feet are like up, I don't know, no, you just can't do it. My friend also has a dog, also other kids, so it's just actually not practical enough for a family. So the boot is not terrific. It's 392 liters, but the Tiguan, you get like 500 odd something liters, and the Tigo, I think, is also bigger and cheaper. So again, you know, if you're going from a practical point of view, this is not your car. Okay, but now that that's out of the way, like, let's talk about what this car is, because it is fabulous. I loved it when it first launched. I loved it when I had it on test for a week, and I love it now. The only thing, okay, so this is going to compete with sort of your Hyundai Kona, Mazda CX-30, what else? Toyota CHR, that kind of thing. But this top of the range comes in at like 660,000 Rand. And I just don't know, it's just not worth that for me. So, you know, for 660,000 Rand, you can get yourself a lot more car. That was a pretty sound. I don't know what it was. Might have been my phone. Don't know. Anyways, but that taxi was very close to me, I realized. So yeah, you could just get a lot more car, you know, for that kind of money. And again, it obviously depends, you know, what you're after. If you are quite keen on something that looks very cool and stands out a bit more, then this certainly does all of that. Now, I say it's 660,000 Rand. That's a standard. That's like no options, okay? And this test unit has quite a few. So it's got like a wireless phone charger, which I think is around 4,000 Rand something. The sunroof is around 15. You've got a reverse camera that you have to pay for at 660,000 Rand. I don't want to pay for a reverse camera, I can tell you that much. So all in all, this has got like around 100,000 Rands worth of options on it. So you're now looking at 760,000 Rand. That's the yes, like, I don't know why anyone would pay that for, yeah. Because then you're sort of going into like, also like Volvo XC40 or, you know, BMW X1, like you're going into the more premium model sector, right? I mean, this does feel premium enough, but like, I think, you know, your premium brands, BMW, Merc, etc., Volvo, are actual premium brands. You know, Volkswagen isn't necessarily considered that. 760,000 Rand. And what you have, I still don't have my voice back, so I can't sing. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Lemon, they will come and they will go. So the engine's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol. Get 130 kilowatts of power. No, you don't. You get 140 kilowatts of power and 320 newton meters of torque. And it's mated to a 7-speed DSG. Now, it's not like as quick as sort of GTI, you know, the number's a little bit less, but it is no slouch, let me tell you. And especially when you're up to cruising speed. So you can be at like 120, and then you need to overtake a truck or whatever on an incline. Just this, nippy, vroop, 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 up you go. It's like, it's really, and you know what, like you can give it horns a bit. And you can throw it into corners. So it has like a very sort of sporty element to it when you're driving it, which I love, obviously. Now, the fuel consumption is claimed at like 7.3 litres per 100 k's. Because of I think the way you're going to drive it, and the fact that, you know, it has actually got a bit of oomph in it. I'm sitting at 9.3 litres per 100 k's. If you put it into eco mode, if you drive quite mindfully, you could probably get it down to about 8 or so. But it's still kind of high, isn't it? For like a small car. Do you know what I mean? So the one thing that does bother me is this all touch control, right? I want more buttons because I find this to be very distracting. But you have to slide. And once you get used to it, it's totally fine. And you can press on it. Yeah. But the aircon, everything slide control more. But again, you can press it. So I suppose you can do that. But then there's no point in having slide control for me. I just go back to traditional buttons, manufacturers, please. So I would say my recommendation for this would be like, if you want to stand out and you love the design and then you have the budget, go for it. But go for the design model, which is not the R line. I think that still has enough in it. And you know, I think it is one of my favorite cars to drive, but I just couldn't ever justify spending that much on it. And of course it doesn't suit my lifestyle, so it doesn't work for me. But I think if you're single, it's kind of a hard ride, I have to tell you. Can you hear Lucas' chair every now and again? There. But I'm on a bit of a hard ride. I would just say think about it, because if you go and test drive one, you're gonna want to buy it. That I can tell you. But it's almost just like having it's got like a sporty golf element to it, but it's just a little bit more stand-outish. So I would have this over a Golf in a heartbeat. Okay, I wouldn't even think about it. But I wouldn't buy it because I can't afford it. Oh, Elvis, are you ready for it? Hey!
You ain't nothing
Crying all the time.